All right. So 6.0, trying to think of an O to rhyme with. Oh, I wonder what's wrong. Oh, what the heck is happening? But here we are. Truck's in the shop. Don't mind my toolbox. But truck's in the shop because had a issue with it where it would want to. I always call it a lazy start. And the only way you can explain a lazy start is to kind of like try to impersonate it. And I'm not really good at impersonating. So what it was doing was when it would go to start it, it would start slow. It wouldn't necessarily start hard, it would start slow. Wintertime starting on this thing was great. But what it was doing was when you'd crank it, rather than having that nice crack when you injectors fire and everything takes off and it just, just that rum starts up, best way I can explain it. What it's doing is it's kind of a lazy start. It's just, it kind of, the injectors kind of pick off slowly, not runs rough, but just kind of starts kind of lazy. Doesn't have that nice crack. So everything was pointing to Fickum issues. So what I did was, and I believe there's something wrong with my programmer because I've got a Super Chips flash pack that I put into this with the back to a stock ECU setting. The truck actually ran okay, and then to put it back on, it would actually run worse. I think it's because the Thick was trying to overcompensate for a number 7 cylinder balance fault, which is what my programmer was showing. So I like to do things kind of down and dirty because I don't have Texa, I don't have a Ford Ingenuity, Auto Ingenuity test scan tools. I've got a can do code reader, which basically is a can don't because it don't do anything. Pretty much wasted money on that. I'll do another video on those. I've only found one good use for that can do. Other than that pretty much that code readers, in my eyes, pretty unimpressive would be the nicest way to put it. So back to my original story, the programmer was telling me I only had 28.5 volts Fickum voltage. Pull the cover off on the Fickum and check it at the number 4 pin because it is a 4 pin, not a 7 pin, or 4 screw, 7 screw, whatever you want to call it. I had 48 volts there. So that tells me my Fickum was good. Went ahead and said, you know what? The Fickum's a 2011. The truck's a 2003. Chances are Fickum's getting ready to go bad. Do I buy a aftermarket Cardone or Dorman? Absolutely not. And for what you're going to pay for a Ford Reman, I just bit the bullet and I bought a Bulletproof. Now, truck still shows number 7 balance fault. When you unplug the number 7 injector wire, there is no change in tone of how the truck runs. So that tells me there's either a signal issue coming from the Fickum, which we've ruled that out because I've spent the stupid money on what a Fickum costs. But I look at a Fickum as a maintenance part, and if it was going to go bad, might as well change it now, get it over with, and now we've ruled out that that part is good. So now we're down to a cylinder number 7 balance fault. Calling up my Ford dealership, checking on how much a harness is going to cost. The early 03s, which is what this truck is. This is like one of the very first 6 liters that came off the line because this is a February of 03. The harness from Ford, from one Ford garage, is over $1,000 for the injector harness. Which is funny because last night I was doing an Amazon search, looking on, for genuine Ford Motorcraft harnesses and everything that I was finding. Ford 03 was at the maximum cost of about $250. That I can choke down. $1,000, we're about half the value of the truck. I mean, it's an 03, it's got 388,000 miles on it. To some people, it's not even worth fixing or driving. I'm at that point with the truck where it's like having an empty tank of gas. How far can I bury that needle before she really runs out. So how far can I push this thing before it really goes? If it needs an injector, put an injector in it. Needs a harness, I'll rather search for a good used harness from a junkyard. But today's project is going to entail, we're going to test all 4 wires for continuity on the number 7 injector. If I've got 4 wires continuity, good continuity that is, backfeed to the FICM, that tells me we have a injector problem. So we're going to pull an injector out. We're going to go to our friendly Ford dealer. We're going to get take it a little bit for a Motorcraft nozzle. And hopefully this will be 6.0 on the road again.